Hello, friends. Once again, I, Sunil Gupta, welcome you at the platform of Inspiration IAS Academy under the program, what is called the PYQ Enrichment Program. Under this program, I have to take one previous year question from the Civil Services main examination, and then I have to make the discussion about each and everything in detail so that the similar nature of the question is being asked in the forthcoming examination. You may feel very comfortable to do each and everything with the competitive value. So let us go for the discussion of the today, orientation. One question I have selected from the previous year that is related to Civil Services Examination 2023. This is of the General Studies 2 and it is the question number 13. Right? What is the question? Let us go for the discussion about the question, and the question is very clear. Account for the legal and the political factors responsible for reduced frequency of using Article 356 by the Union government since mid 1990s. This is the question. So first of all, whenever you have to deal with the question, try to understand what is the focus of the question. What is the demand of the question? I'm telling you demand of the question because 25% aspirants have no idea about the concrete demand of the question. They have to write the answer only in the periphery of the core, but you have to write the core demand in very expanded and the competitive form. So let us see here what are the demand of the question. See, account for the legal and the political factor responsible for. So you have to find out, first the keywords for this. Account for legal and the political factors responsible for reduced frequency of which one using Article 356 by Union government in mid 1990s, right? It means the question is being asked from Article 356. So would you like to write only Article 356 in detail? Or you have to write the provision that is mentioned under state emergency, or you have to write the factor responsible for reducing the frequencies, or you have to write the all the factors, just like social, economic, political, technological, every factor you have to write in this particular question. So based upon that, first you have to find out the region of demand, and then you have to find out the point of demand, right? So let us go for the region of demand. Region of demand, it is called the locus of the question, and the point of demand is called the focus of the question. So let us go for the first analysis of the region of demand. What is the region of demand? Region of demand is very clear. It is related to frequency of using Article 356, right? So the region of demand is what is called the, if you have to write here, what is called the frequency, right? Frequency of using which particular article? Article 356 of the Constitution of India, right? But what is the real demand of the question? What is the core of demand of question? What is the point of the demand? Then you should understand appropriately. What is the point of demand here? That is, we have seen the legal factor is also there, right? And some what is called the political factor, right? Two factors are there, legal factor and what? The political factor. These two factors laid foundation of reducing frequency of, right? Frequency of using Article 356 in the public governance, and this phenomenon has been taken in mid 1990s, right? See, the whole literature has been shaped under this particular, the whole documentation, this particular conceptual framework. Legal factor, political factor, there is no economic factor. How the factor responsible for the LPG regime? No, we have not to write here. Not technological factor, ki how e-governance or the information technology influences use of Article 356. No social factor, no social empowerment, women empowerment, and the other empowerment of the community. We have not to write each and everything. We have to write only the two things here: legal factor and other important political factor, which is mentioned under the this particular question. So that is a very big clear, right? We have to write two important aspect of the area in our answer sheet. The first, how legal factor influencing reducing frequency of the using article 356, and second important, how political factors that after mid 1990s you can say that reduce the frequency of using article 356. That is very clear. एकदम क्लियर हो गया कि दो चीज हमें बिल्कुल लिखना है, एक लीगल फैक्टर ओरिएंटेड दैट इज रिड्यूसिंग फ्रीक्वेंसी, और सेकंड इंपॉर्टेंट पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर दैट इज रिड्यूसिंग फ्लुएंसी. So based upon that we have to make the revision here, right? So just go for the the understanding of this particular areas, and under this one we will have to make the discussion in conceptualization of this particular issue is concerned. So let us go for the conceptualization first. Just like, this is the Article 356 is concerned. So understand, what is going to happen under the question orientation is concerned. Article 356 is related to which one? That is related to a state emergency, right? And the state emergency, what is also known as the president's rule, you know very well. This state emergency may be imposed only on the background, ground of the breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state, right? So, and this breakdown is justified by two important means. The first important is called the report of governor, right? So, report of governor justifying there is the breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state. Then president, on the basis of the recommendation, can impose Article 356. It means the president rule in the state, and the effect is very clear that all the executive power moves towards the office of the president of India, and all the legislative power moves towards the parliament of India, and the financial power just from the state financial power is moving towards the president of India, means union finance minister has to take the decision about the financial activities in the state, right? Now one thing is their report of governor, and second important that is mentioned here, otherwise means without report of the governor the president can use Article 356 in the state. See, this particular provision have been made under Article 356, and so provision was very vague in nature. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, right? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has to say that this article may be misused in the future. He was optimizing. There may be the misuse of the Article 356, and so it has to say, date later for this particular purpose. And what B.R. Ambedkar analyzed that really automatically we noticed in future, and we have seen just after republicanism means 1950 to 2016, if we have to make the authentic data, then we have noticed here 115 times 356 have been applied on the state, and most of time means 80% areas of the imposition seems as to be the controversial. It means very clear there would have been misuse of Article 356 rather than use of Article 356. I am not telling you. Political analyst and the intellectual forum has to make the analysis based upon the areas, right? Earlier the frequency of using Article 356, particularly in the Indira Gandhi regime, seems as to be very high, right? More and more बहुत ज्यादा presidential rule का इस्तेमाल होता था उस समय. But after 1990s we have seen the frequency is getting decreased, right? You can just notice here through this particular graph. ये ग्राफ को तुम देखो, इससे पता चल जाएगा 1952 के बाद अगर हम देखें, then there is notice of just see here, notice of one, the one notice of two presidential rule, another important four, another seven is concerned. एक बार देखो तुम ना 12 12 presidential rule has been imposed at that particular era. But you have seen here after 1990s यहाँ के बाद ना frequency is getting decreased, right? Here is a much more frequency, right? But we have seen here after this one frequency is getting what, very reduced. So what happened during the 1990s, mid 1990s में हुआ क्या, कुछ तो, right? Many factors influenced that had made the impact upon reducing the frequency of article 1956 का use के लिए. And so what happened here, so that two important things have been happened according to the question, and one is called legal factors. कहीं ना कहीं सुप्रीम कोर्ट का एक्टिविजम्स आया इसमें, and another important is said to be what is called the political factors are there. Some political changes has been taken place here, and so based upon that इसी कारण इनका जो frequency था that is getting what reduced, right ना. So based upon this one you can understand very clearly कि what the question is going to ask. तो अब देखो क्वेश्चन का नेचर देखो ये, account for the legal and political factors responsible for reduced frequency of article 356 by union government since mid 1990s. So that is very clear. अब एकदम क्लियर जब हो चुका है तो और देखते हैं how to frame the answer, what should be the content related to the answer of this question, right. So let us go for the discussion. And what is here, this is the one important portion is there, right. तो देखो यहाँ पर बच्चे ना हम लोग दो इम्पोर्टेंट एरिया में इसको डिस्कस करेंगे. सो व्हाट वी हैव टू मेक द डिस्कशन अंडर टू इम्पोर्टेंट एरियाज. The first important is said to be what is called which factor, the first legal factors, right, that is influencing, so reducing frequency of, you know, frequency of using article 356, right. And another important is said to be which particular political factors, right, political factors that is influencing, reducing the frequency of article 356. Important areas are here under the structure of the answer, right. अब देखो legal factors are concerned, so many scholars have to say two important areas that has become the very legal loopholes in article 356 जिसके कारण misuse. So what is the first important, there was a lack of accountability, right, accountability in the procedure, right, accountability in procedure. कहीं ना कहीं बच्चे ऐसा था ना कि अकाउंटेबिलिटी जो था प्रोसीजर में उसका एक लूप होल्स था जिसका यूज करता था गवर्नर, जिसका यूज किया यूनियन गवर्नमेंट ने, राइट. तो गवर्नर्स रिपोर्ट इज कंसर्न, तो गवर्नर रिपोर्ट, गवर्नर हैज टू मेक द रिपोर्ट, बेस्ड अपॉन दैट यू हैव टू यूज द प्रेसिडेंट रूल. Governor report was not a part of the scanning, not a part of the judicial review. अगर जुडिशियरी उसको देख ही नहीं रहा, कोई आदमी इसको अकाउंटेबिलिटी को देख ही नहीं रहा कि करप्शन, अब उसने रिपोर्ट में लिख दिया करप्शन इज रिलेटेड टू ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मशीनरी, देन समवन शुड बी अवेलेबल टू आस्क द क्वेश्चन हाउ कैन यू से करप्शन इज रिलेटेड टू ब्रेक डाउन ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मशीनरी. Then no one were available at that particular time to ask the question, and so this is the lack of accountability in the procedure. And another important area is the lack of independence of, right, independence of the office of the governor, right. गवर्नर का ऑफिस भी क्या था ना कि डिपेंडेंट था, इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं था. आर्टिकल 155 हैज टू से हु विल अपॉइंट द गवर्नर, गवर्नर शैल बी अपॉइंटेड बाय द प्रेसिडेंट ऑन हिज प्लेजर एंड रिमूव्ड बाय द प्रेसिडेंट ऑन हिज प्लेजर. ये this office was not so independent with respect to, with respect to the its tenure protection, with respect to condition of services protection, with respect to the salary protection, ये सब नहीं था उसमें. And so based upon that, here automatically this governor was really going to use as a part of the agent of center rather than constitutional head of state. तो ये important areas था. Legal factors are there. The Supreme Court has made the verdict in many cases. Under this, accountability is getting enhanced. Under this, independence of the office of the governor was getting, ensured by this particular the cases are concerned, right. तो डिस्कशन में क्या करेंगे, सबसे पहले हम लोग लीगल फैक्टर को डिस्कस करते हैं, एंड बेस्ड अपॉन दैट दिस इज द लीगल फैक्टर, सो मेनी केसेस आर देयर. So accountability, three cases are there. One related to the SR Bommai versus Union of India case in 1994. Second important Rameshwar case that is in the 2005. And third Navam Rebia case, in the 2016. This is the very recent case here. And one case that is ensure the independence of the office of the governor under the BP Singhal case of the 2010. Right. So let us go for the discussion of each and every case in detail. I would like to tell you the purpose of discussion is not to give you the answer and the content so that you have to occupy in the given space. Intention is that if the similar nature of the question is asked in one portion, just like may it be possible tomorrow the question is being asked, what are the legal factors influencing the application of Article 356, then you have to expand this particular information more than sufficient. So your information should be as sufficient as possible with you, right? So I will discuss here first important SR Bombay case. अब इस केस में बच्चे हुआ क्या? SR Bommai case, this is the very historical case. Under this, the constitutional bench of the Supreme Court has made some parameters related to the Article 356 of the Constitution of India. Right? The first, the first thing that mentioned here, what is called comprehensive judicial review. So here is the comprehensive judicial review. Review. So what happened here? Originally, because this is a part of the state emergency under emergency provision. And our constitutional makers have mentioned there should not be any judicial review on the matters of emergency provision, including Article 356 of the Constitution. But after, you know, 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978, this constitutional amendment allowed there will be the judicial review upon the proclamation of the president related to, you know, that is the emergency provision. But later on, Minerva Mill versus Union of India case 1980, the Supreme Court itself has to say कि my judicial review will be as limited as possible. I will just go for the strategic portion of the review, but I will not interfere in the detailed procedure that is mentioned in the proclamation of the President of India. But what happened in SR Bommai case, because so much automatically misuse of the Article 356 noticed, then at that particular time it has to say now this is a part of the complete and comprehensive review. Means the review will take place not only in the strategic matter but also in the operational matter. If governor has to give the ground and has to say that this is related to breakdown of constitutional machinery, then at that particular time Supreme Court can ask the question from the governor, how can you say it is related to the breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state? So this is the comprehensive judicial review. Next important is this to be this article 356 must be applied sprangly used, right? Sprangly, because at that particular time, that is very clear, it is related to undermining two basic structure of the constitution. One is called the federalism, right? Federalism as the basic structure of the constitution was accepted by the Supreme Court under this particular case. And so it has to say whenever we have to use Article 356, then the federal structure immediately becomes unitary structure. So it is very important to note down that it undermines the basic structure of the constitution. So you have to use as less as possible. This is also analysis made by the Justice Sarkaria Commission under the Union State Relation 1983 to 88. And second important, it also undermine one of the important area what is called parliamentary democracy, right? Parliamentary democracy is there. Parliamentary democracy because just after 356, first Council of Minister to be headed by CM, dismissed. Later on, Legislative Assembly dissolved. It means you are going to play with the basic structure. One is called the parliamentary democracy because two basic structure directly impacts after using Article 356 should be used as sprangly used as possible. That is very important. Outcome was there. Next important it has to say nature of governor's report. So nature of governor's report. Governor's report. So what is the nature of governor's report? It is mentioned here that governor report should be based upon objective facts. So there should not be any objective facts. There should not be any kind of subjectivity involved in the report of the governor. Governor should not incorporate the personal feeling in the report. Governor should write each and everything that is said to be the standard fact. Second important area is concerned what is called the relevant fact, right? Relevant facts are there. Relevant facts, you have not to create hypothetical analysis of the situation. You have to write what you feel that is the very relevant for the public governance, complete, objective, and the relevant facts should be there. Another important one thing is also mentioned what is called the concrete fact. Concrete fact means it should not be based upon the selectivism. It should be based upon comprehensibility. Comprehensibility of information should be there in order to analyze the situation. Yes, this had been taken place. So based upon that, this is the nature of the governor's report mentioned under SR Bommai versus Union of India case 1994, right? Next important fact is also there what is called the valid ground, right? Valid ground for using Article 356. One valid ground very well what is called the breakdown of constitutional machinery of a state. Breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state. Breakdown means if a state is not running according to the Constitution of India, this is a part of the breakdown of constitutional machinery. And another important area is there what is called paralysis of democratic system. Paralysis of democratic system here. So paralysis of democratic system means if the state is not going to provide the stable government for a long time, then that would also be the ground for the imposing Article 356. That is the valid ground for Article 356. But very important fact is there, these grounds will be regulated to invalid ground. Invalid grounds will be there. And so this Supreme Court, on the basis of the analysis of many reports of the governor, has to say that some of the grounds used in the report are completely irrelevant and should not be applicable from the next time to interpret it as a part of the breakdown of constitutional machinery of the state. And for this particular purpose, some of the grounds, they mentioned here what is called, the first is called the corruption. Corruption cannot be the ground for this particular purpose, right? Second important area what is called the inter party conflict, right? Party conflict. You have seen many times the coalition government is there and the inter-party conflict is being reported, and based upon the report, if governor has to justify breakdown of constitutional machinery, it is not the way to justify this. It should be regarded as a part of the invalid ground. May it be possible intra-party conflict, intra-party conflict. So many times we have seen even Samajwadi Party divided into the two parts, right? Samajwadi Party, one under the Akhilesh Yadav, one under so his uncle. So based upon that, many times it is going to happen. JDU divided into two parts, right? So many times the intra-party conflicts are going to happen, but conflict cannot justify breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state, right? One important thing is also there what is called the maladministration. Maladministration cannot be the ground if maladministration is rejected by rejected by the floor test, right? So floor test automatically is going to happen, and floor test it has to say there is no maladministration, and you have to say maladministration. Then at that particular time also, very important fact is there should be regarded as invalid ground for imposing Article 356. Friends, so many areas, came into being under the SR Bombay case, and these have become the guidance for using Article 356. It means the Supreme Court tries, its best to make this provision accountable. And so, perhaps this is the one of the important reason. Immediately, report of governor justifies breakdown of constitutional machinery. Now, this time, it has made very, very important and accountable phenomenon, and so the governor next time has to make the recommendation based upon these parameters. This is the SR Mumbai case. Let us go for the second important case, what is called Rameshwar Prasad versus Union of India case 2005. This is the case related to Bihar Legislative Assembly dissolution. Right? Dissolution was there. So at that particular time, Governor Butta Singh, right now, Butta Singh. Butta Singh was the governor of state, and during Article 356, imposition, dissolved Bihar Legislative Assembly. For this, the Supreme Court came into being under this case and has declared such kind of dissolution null and void, means unconstitutional, right? And one statement has been made at that particular time, by the Supreme Court, and the statement was very, very important here. The drastic and extreme action, the drastic, and extreme extreme action of the governor, you know cannot depends upon, not depending upon one phrase is used for this particular purpose, which is called whim and fancy of governor. Whim and fancies of governor. Whim and fancy of governor means you have not to use your own wish, you have not to make the hypothetical conclusion for the breakdown of constitutional machinery. Based upon the relevant fact and concrete fact, we have to take the decision. So this automatically area came into being and has to make the governor very, very accountable. Apart from the governor, the president is also made accountable. You have to see the report appropriately and then you have to take the decision. Some subjectivity, if used by the governor, some hypothetical situation, if interpreted by the governor, this is second responsibility of yours to take care of whether the report is appropriate or that's clear. Now let us go for the third important case, what is called the Nabam Revia case. It is related to Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh, right? Arunachal Pradesh, under this governor, one governor that is very clear, that is called Raj Khova, right? Governor Raj Khova declared the president rule, and at that particular time, the president rule was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court under this particular case. Unconstitutional because at that particular time the Supreme Court for the first time very clearly noticed that the governor has to take decision based upon the constitution, you know not based upon the political leadership, right? Political leadership at the union, लीडरशिप एट यूनियन. तो यूनियन के अनुसार तुम डिसीजन मत लो पॉलिटिक्स में. यू हैव टू टेक द डिसीजन कंप्लीटली बेस्ड अपॉन द फैक्ट बिकॉज यू आर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल हेड ऑफ स्टेट, नॉट द एजेंट ऑफ द सेंटर. The same thing stated by Sarkaria Commission earlier, and Mempunchi Commission also has to say the same thing. Second ARC has to make the recommendation in the same thing, and so it has to say here the governor should not involve in the political manipulation. Governor office is said to be the neutral office, right? This is the neutral office. This is the constitutional office. This is the independent office, and so everything should be taken under the consideration of neutrality, constitutionalism, and independence of the office of governor. So, governors should not involve in the any kind of partiality towards the political party at the center. It should not related to the political ideology of the center. So, this is the one of the important aspect that has given the message to the political leadership at the center as well as the office of the governor to do take care of the constitutionalism while taking the decision, making the report related to the Article 356 and proclamation of the president while using Article 356 of the Constitution. It has made accountable all the things what I have given you that has been taken place after 1990s, mid 1990s. This kind of system has been taken place here. But the question is here, why governor is going to use as agent of center, right? Reason is very clear, because the office of the governor is not independent, only due to the no protection, you can say very important lack of protection of the tenure of the governor. Normal tenure of governor is the 5 years, but in between on the pleasure of the president he may be removed. And many times it has been taken place governor is being removed by the president whenever the government is getting changed at the union level. But under this case, one is the very important case, what is called the VP Single case versus Union of India case. It was the case of the four governors dismissal, right? Governor dismissal by UPA government, right? So UPA government came into being and immediately earlier BJP government appointed governors were dismissed. At that particular time, it has to say, the Supreme Court has to say, see, governor office is said to be what is called, I told you, independent and what constitutional, what we discussed earlier also. And for this particular purpose, the removal of the governor, you know, should be made by the president, on his pleasure, president on his pleasure. It is called doctrine of pleasure, right? Doctrine of pleasure. Pleasure का doctrine आप use कीजिए, but doctrine of pleasure does not allow you to do in very arbitrary manner. No, there should be valid reason, right? It should be supplemented with what? Valid reason. While automatically you have to make the decision for the removal of governor from the office. तो जैसे ही आप ऑफिस ऑफ गवर्नर को आप डिसमिस करना चाहते हैं, हटाना चाहते हैं बिफोर द नॉर्मल टेन्योर, you have to take care of the valid reason behind it. Reason must match with the constitutional value or spirit of the Constitution of India, right? So based upon that, this was the case. तो बच्चे तुमने देखा यहाँ पर ये इन्होंने गवर्नर को इंडिपेंडेंस के लिए स्ट्रिक्ट किया, इसमें उन्होंने कहा कि पॉलिटिकल मत होना, न्यूट्रल रहना। इसमें इन्होंने बोला कि यू हैव नॉट टू यूज द एनी ड्रास्टिक एक्शन, तुम्हारे विम पे डिपेंड नहीं करता है, फैंसी पे डिपेंड नहीं करता। एंड ये तो खैर बहुत ही कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव डिसीजन था दैट इज रिलेटेड टू making accountability in the report of the governor while making the recommendation for using article 356। और तुमने देखा ये चार इंपॉर्टेंट केसेस को हमने ये बहुत ही गहराई के साथ बहुत ही डिटेल में इसको हमने डिस्कशन की। नाउ लेट अस गो फॉर द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर्स। तो ये तो फैक्टर्स हो गया, अगर अगला देखते हैं दैट इज रिलेटेड टू व्हाट इज कॉल्ड द पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर्स, एंड दीज आर द पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर्स। सी, political factors means that some political changes has been taken place. One political change came into being after 1990 is the era of the coalition politics. So after dilution of single party domination, many provincialization of political party came into being, and then it laid foundation of coalition government at the union, and it has become a part of the continuation in the Indian democratic system. Second important federal principles. Earlier, there was matter of domination, but now domination replaced by the participation and collaboration. So cooperative federalism, competitive federalism, collaborative federalism, the concept came into being. Third important, political consciousness among people also. So many civil society activism has been taken place against the use of Article 356 of the Constitution. Rarely, rarest of the rare condition, then it's okay, but every time you are going to misuse article 356, that would become a part of the revolt protest by the people. Many people protest, we interpreted. And last important, what is called the alliance politics. Coalition politics when becomes a part of the alliance politics. Now here is the somewhat instability, degree of stability is getting increased under the alliance politics. After NDA UPA regime, it has become a part of the very, very important approach, right? So let us go for the discussion of each and everything appropriately. And this is related to, first important area, and this is, emergence of the coalition politics. Coalition politics ka emergence is concerned. Now, before that, I would like to tell you, if you feel any kind of the problem in the lecture, then any so YouTube, I'm going to publish this video on YouTube, and if you feel any kind of confusion or any kind of difficulty, you have to contact me, or you have to make the comment on the your comment box. I will give you reply as soon as possible. Okay, so let us go for the discussion. Next important, emergence of coalition politics, right? Coalition politics is what happened. See, earlier there was domination of Indian National Congress, very well. So there was single party domination in the Indian political system, particularly at the union level and the state level also. After 1967, some dilution has been reported. Later on, after 1990s, provincialization of political parties laid foundation of many regional political parties like RJD in Bihar, Jharkhand Mukti Morcha in Jharkhand, another So you can say that is INLD in Haryana, TDP in Andhra Pradesh, AIADMK in Tamil Nadu, JDS in Karnataka, right? Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, BJD in Odisha. So many political parties, Samajwadi Party, BSP came into, right, with the regional sentiment, with the linguistic sentiment. So this provincialization of political party due to dilution of the single party domination and so laid foundation of one thing what is called the coalition politics. There is not one but different political parties, joined hand together in order to make the coalition and sustain the majority under the parliamentary democratic setup, right? After emergence of coalition politics, what happened? Two important, areas happened in the system. The first important is there dependency of the center, dependency of the center on regional party, regional party domination one, right? And second important is there what is called the cross participation between the union and state. Let us understand these two things. See, this is the state. State automatically CM one political party. State number two is concerned. The second political party government. State number three is there. That is called third political party. And these political party are also participated at the union level. Right? I'm giving you one example. The example of the 1996, that is Union Front. Example is there, United Front, right? United Front government was there. Front government in 1996, right? United Front government consisting of so many political parties, just like for example TDP. TDP was also there. TDP was also in Andhra Pradesh. Assam Gan Parishad was also there. Assam Gan Parishad was also in what? Assam. Praful Kumar Manta was also there, right? N. Chandrababu Naidu was the CM at that particular time, and he this party was also participated at the union and the state also, right? So dependency came into being upon union upon political party, regional political party. Or you can say also many times, these political parties are also being, depending upon this. So cross participation is going to be happened here, right? Now it will dilute the domination of center over the state. आर्टिकल 356 था क्या? दैट इज द टूल ऑफ द डोमिनेशन अपॉन द स्टेट. स्टेट को कंट्रोल करने का एक मैकेनिज्म था. बच्चे ये डायलूट हो गए by means of the dilution of the domination due to dependency and harmonization due to the cross participation. Indian democracy got a different shift while maintaining the participation in the public governance, right? And so this is the areas what we analyzed to the emergence of the coalition politics, right? अब देखो क्या होता है. सेकंड इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया इज कंसर्न व्हाट इज कॉल्ड द फैसिलिटेशन ऑफ फेडरल प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ द गवर्नेंस. you know gradually we have taken the area of cooperation and collaboration, you know between the union and the state. Union state relation is getting improved from time to time. Just like, for example, it laid foundation of many things. First important area, cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism. Cooperative federalism came into being, right? And one of the important commission recommendation is very famous, what is called Justice Sarkaria Commission. Sarkaria Commission, right? This Justice Sarkaria Commission of 1983 to 88. Sarkaria Commission has to say you have to involve in cooperative federalism by harmonization of relation between the union and state by empowering many constitutional and extra constitutional mechanisms, right? Just like for example, you have to just empower interstate council that is mentioned under Article 263 of the Constitution of India. You have to empower extra constitutional machinery just like CM conference, CM's conference, right? You have to empower, this particular machinery, just like, for example, CS conference, right? CS conference is there. CM conference, CS conference, you have seen also in the lockdown situation, during the corona period, lockdown situation, lockdown decision, and lock decisions were taken virtually under the CM's conference. We have seen the screen where the PM and the CM has to come together to discuss how the situation would be covered. अब ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है कि PM has to take unilateral decision. PM with collaboration with the CM has to take the decision. This is the sense of participation, right? Here is the CM conference. CS conference, it is related to administrative harmonization. And so CS conference इतना impactful हुआ in the 1997 citizen charter, the great principle of the governance introduced only after the CM's conference followed by the CS conference, right? So based upon this one, these are the facts. ये सब अब mechanism एक empowerment की तरफ जाने लगा only due to the inception of cooperative federalism, right? Second important area, what is called the collaborative federalism. Collaborative federalism, right? Collaborative federalism was the new experiment made by the Canada and the Australia. And based upon that particular analysis, it has to say maintain the collaboration between union and state. And this was also recommendation in India by Justice M.M. Punchi Commission. M.M. Punchi Commission, right? That was appointed by Manmohan Singh government in 2007 and given the report in 2010. The collaborative mechanism laid foundation of many machineries, including GST Council. GST Council is the GST Council came into being under the Article 279A, and for this we have made 101st Constitutional Amendment Act 2016. Right? This is nothing but reflection of the collaborative federalism. Right? And under this one, we have also introduced here competitive federalism. Competitive federalism, right? Competitive federalism is related to the healthy competition between the union and the state. Earlier, one article was there, Article 293, and that has to say that borrowing of by the state is conditioned by the union, but borrowing feature is getting diluted, and this competitive federalism replaced domination of union in the fiscal management. And so automatically this is also later supported by the Niti Ayog. Niti Ayog has made same automatically in the 2017 has boosted up the competitive federalism in India. देखो बच्चे ये तीनों जो फेडरलिज्म है दैट हैज रिप्लेस्ड डोमिनेशन ऑफ यूनियन बाय व्हाट कॉपरेशन ऑफ यूनियन विथ स्टेट. अब दोनों एक साथ मिल के चलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. एंड आर्टिकल 356 वाज मेंटेनिंग डोमिनेशन, not cooperation and collaboration, but here is the cooperation and collaboration came into being with the healthy competitive environment. तो ऐसे जब सिस्टम पॉलिटिकल चेंज हो गए ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल रिड्यूस द फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ यूजिंग आर्टिकल 356 इन द इंडियन पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर, राइट? चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. रैंड दिस इज रिलेटेड टू द नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया, पॉलिटिकल कॉन्शियसनेस अमंग द पीपल. That is going to happen, a political consciousness among the people. We have seen two important areas. First important, public disapproval. Disapproval for imposition of Article 356. ये अब disapprove करने लगा. Many protests we have noticed. And another important, civil society movement, right? Civil society movement came into being against issues of Article 356 of the Constitution. We have noticed some example, just like Karnataka protest. Karnataka protest against Article 356 came into being in 2007. That is very remarkable, and media has covered it as a part of the people movement against Article 356. And civil society is concerned, then Methi, Methi, you can say revolt. Methi revolt has been taken place in Manipur only due to the apprehension of using Article 356. हुआ नहीं, apprehension ऐसा लगने लगा, इन्होंने रिवोल्ट तुरंत पहले ही शुरू कर दिया, राइट? तो बेस्ड अपॉन दैट it justifies the political consciousness came into being in the people, and people can understand what the right, what the wrong, and based upon that has to take the decision. Has given the one message to the union leadership is, sir, you have to use your authority under the constitutional setup, right? And अब देखो last important area, what is called inception of alliance politics. Alliance politics. Alliance politics like the coalition politics, coalition government. But what is going to happen in the alliance politics? These political parties, has to come before election. It is called the pre-poll alliance. एक बार इलेक्शन, एक तो हुआ कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट, प्री पोल में पॉसिबल, आफ्टर पोस्ट पोल में पॉसिबल, राइट? बट वेन एवर द प्री पोल अलायंस, एकदम हार्मोनाइजेशन है, एजेंडा इज बीइंग फिक्स्ड, कॉमन मिनिमम प्रोग्राम एंड एजेंडा इज वेरी फिक्स्ड, एंड एजेंडा इज यू नो implemented before the people, before election. अगर alliance है, three party alliance is there, A, B, C, then whenever the seat is selected for A, B and C candidates will not be there. And whenever the B, then A and C candidates will not be there. Such kind of the situation is going to happen automatically. It will give you a stable government. So many political party alliance came into. तो ये एक जब हुआ, then and thereafter ये है अगर coalition, then coalition government is converted into some permanent structure in form of what, alliance, right? And alliance is nothing but participation of different political party in pre-poll phenomenon. And so many alliance came into being in our Indian political system. The first alliance in the 1989, 1989 is concerned what is called the National Front Alliance. National Front Alliance. देखो बच्चे, ये इतना इजी नहीं था इसको चलाना, एंड सो it seems has to be an experimental basis of using the alliance politics, and you can say this is not much more successful. It was experimental, it's okay, but not much more successful. But later on in 1996 we created here United Front. United Front was also in a stable in nature, but much more stable than this one, right? At least agenda was very clear. Everyone is going to you know make the decision appropriately. But very important area, 1998 one alliance came into being, what is called National Democratic Alliance, and effort of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji has made the alliance politics as the sustainable phenomenon in Indian political system. This was great experiment, great maturity among the political party to associate with the common ideology for the good governance, right? And later on, in the Manmohan Singh regime 2004, the UPA alliance came into being. United Progressive Alliance is there, and this NDA and UPA still is going to continue. A political party इधर उधर जाते भी है, तो under the alliance politics is there. Nitish Kumar has to go from UPA to NDA, NDA to UPA, whatever be, but it will be under the alliance politics. So after alliance politics is going to happen, the same situation of the coalition, ये सेम चीज है ना, alliance में भी सेम ही चीज होगा जो इसमें था, dependency of the center upon regional political party, and the cross participation will take place here. There is no difference between the coalition government in spirit. Reason is very clear. That is, it is somewhat automatically unstable. It is somewhat what, stable, because there is the pre-poll alliance is going to be happen under the system, right? Now, recently you have seen here India, one of the India bloc alliances there. So based upon that, this kind of alliance politics laid foundation of collaboration and the cooperation, and based upon that it replaced the domination based system under the this good governance. And so बच्चे, ये हुआ political factor responsible for this. एक बार फिर से हम लोग देख जाए, हम लोगों ने ये चीज था political factors. So we discussed here coalition politics, we discussed here federal principle, discussed here political consciousness and perception of the alliance politics, right? So we have seen these are the four political factors. Another important area is concerned. These are the four important case history that is related to the legal factors, right? अब आ जाओ क्वेश्चन पे, अब इसका हम लोग आंसर फ्रेम करते हैं. एंड दिस इज द क्वेश्चन, एंड दिस इज द क्वेश्चन इज देयर व्हाट, दैट इज you know, now account for the legal and political factor responsible for reduced, frequency of using Article 356 of the Union government since mid 1990s, right? So let us frame how the answer will be written here, right? Answer of this question, answer of this one, what is called question number what 13. We have to write in how much? About 250 words. And what is the marks potential maximum? 15 marks potential is here, right? See, how would you like to frame the structure? The structure is very clear. Your whole structure will be divided into three parts. One is called the introduction part, another important is called the main body, and another important called the conclusion, right? Introduction part should not exceed to 10% of total space, right? 10% of total space means not more than 25, or maximum if you want to exceed then the 30. If your introduction is 50 or 60 words, then you may compromise. Last impact नहीं पड़ेगा एग्जामिनर पे. दो प्रॉब्लम हो सकती. The first problem is there, if you exceed the space, then you may compromise the space in main or the conclusion or the last question, right? A second important, may it be possible examiner could have misconception that you have not understood the question, so you are writing here and there in the introduction of the this answer. So introduction should be very crux, based upon the essence of the question is concerned. अब बच्चे देखो इंट्रोडक्शन कैसे तैयार करोगे. इंट्रोडक्शन शुड बी बेस्ड अपॉन दिस फोर इंपॉर्टेंट एरियाज. जस्ट लाइक जो इसमें लिखा हुआ लीगल फैक्टर, अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट इज सेड टू बी व्हाट political factor, another important is said to be what article 356, and another is said to be what 1990, mid 1990s, right? यही चार इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया, इसी को लेकर के तुम्हें एक अपना स्टेटमेंट बना लेना है, राइट? तो स्टेटमेंट बना लो ईयर under the impact of the legal factor and the legal changes and the political change after 1990s, the president house or the president office is being restricted while imposing article 356 on the state democratic system. अपनी भाषा दो, राइट? ऐसे लिखोगे तो एग्जामिनर में फील यू आर गोइंग टू duplicate the introduction under the question. Then you have to use your own vocabulary. Just like for example, legal. Then you have to write Supreme Court activism, right? Supreme Court activism under the constitutionalism. ये सब legal है, right? Under the legal setup in accountability, right? Political is the political change. Transition of single party governance to the coalition government or the alliance politics. Clear? So change in the political system. अपनी अपनी वोकेबुलरी दो और उसका एक स्टेटमेंट. इसमें तो कुछ चेंज कर नहीं सकते. आर्टिकल 350 इज ऑब्जेक्टिव इन नेचर. 1990 you cannot make the change here also, right? But you can use the vocabulary for the legal factor as well as what political factors. अब vocabulary कितने में लिखोगे? 25 to 30 words. Consider this question is being asked in 150 words and this is of the 10 marks. Then your whole structure will be compiled, synthesized under what 15 to 20 words, not more than that. अब तुम्हारे अंदर ये स्किल होना चाहिए to synthesize the whole structure under the 15 to 20 words, and you did in the past. पता है तूने बचपन में एक काम किया था संक्षेपण, what is called the precise writing, and you have to summarize the whole passage under the one third of the space without losing the essence. Important is the without losing the essence. वन थर्ड करते थे, तो वन थर्ड करने का तो तुम एक्टिविटी पहले से ही डेवलप कर चुके हो. So you can easily make your 60 words introduction into the 20 words, or if 20 words then you can expand at what 60 words. इसका भी प्रैक्टिस तुम कर चुके हो पैराग्राफ राइटिंग में, राइट? only a recent practice is required, systematic practice is required. After writing 4 or 5 introduction, you may feel It is under my command, and after writing 20 introductions, you may feel I am very comfortable. I can write each and everything according to the demand of the word limit. Clear? Right? Second important is there what is called the main body. Main body is concerned. That is the essence of the question is there. Main body is here. Main body may be divided into how many parts here? Two parts. One is called the legal factors, right? And another important is said to be what? That is the political factor. Political factors. Legal factors, you know very well. Four important area: SR Bommai case. Another, what is called Rameshwar case. Another, that is called the Arabia case. Another is said to be automatically what is called the you know BP. That is case is concerned. Clear? Four important cases are there. Then you have to describe each and everything appropriately, right? So that is important here. Political factor, ये चार चीज वही लिखोगे that is mentioned under this one. That is four important area as are Bombay के Rameshwar, Arabia and VP single is concerned. The same way you have to write in political factor with analysis of this particular four important coalition government, federalism, political consciousness and inception. So let us go for the this one. And so this is where we are going to write here. Political factor also four important areas. The first important area is said to be coalition. Second important is said to be the public disapproval. Third is said to be what is called the one here to the principle of federalism, cooperative collaborative federalism, and fourth important is said to be the alliance politics. Right? अब देखो इसमें क्या है ना कि एसआर बोम्बई केस दैट इज द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट यू हैव टू गिव द स्पेस एंड इसमें है ना कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट एंड coalition, you can say the alliance, both are almost the same in the spirit. That is important. Clear? इनको और इनको नहीं छोड़ना. You have to write in 75 words. Automatically you will compromise some of the information. Compromise these particular points, but you have not to compromise with SR Mumbai and the coalition government. You know, I am not giving you the answer. Once again, I am telling you, I am giving you the structure upon which you can manage your answer appropriately. टू का काम ये नहीं है कि तुम्हें एक दिया दिखा करके बता दे, जलाना सिखा दे. That is important. So this is my intention. How to develop your skill. That is important. My focus is to development of the skill rather than you have to get the light. No, getting light is here with that is temporary in nature. Getting a skill that is the permanent in nature. So main body is concerned. Clear? Let us go for the conclusion. The next important area has to come here, what is called the conclusion. So see, what is the conclusion under this one? Conclusion. Conclusion may be of many types, right? I am telling you, find out whether conclusion should be based upon deletion of Article 356 from the Constitution. No, it is not our intention. Consider a state is going to demand, or a state is going to favor separatist movement like Khalistan or the Greater Nagaland. 356 is only mechanism through which you have to maintain unity and integrity of the nation. Deletion of Article 356 is not our intention. Our intention is to make the use accountable, to make the use appropriate, right? To make the use constitutional. And so we have to just make the some suggestion, reforms, suggestion, way out, you know. So basically three important reforms or suggestions you can prescribe in this one is a reform should be made at first important constitution. Some constitutional level reforms should be. And under this one, the reform should be made towards enhancing the independence of the office of governor. Independence of the office of governor. Governor का office को यार independence करो so that governor should act as constitutional head offices rather than mere the agent of the center. Right? The first important area is there. It is also stated by NCRWC. NCRWC, that is called National Commission on Review of Working of Constitution 2000 to 2002. It is also said to be the Justice Venkatacharya Commission, right? Second important is said to be some reforms should be done at which level? Political level, right? Political level. Political level तो हमने reform किया ही है. Alliance politics we have made here. So very important is said to be accountable alliance politics. Accountable alliance politics should be there, right? So politics should not be based upon self-interest, but should be based upon the national interest, and agenda should be based upon the constitutional philosophy, right? And so this is concerned. And one thing at the political level is required, do automatically favor cooperative, what is called the collaborative, and another important is said to be what? Competitive federalism. So use the so you have to accept it as a part of the cooperative and collaborative federalism. कभी कभी नहीं होता. Supreme Court under the NCT of Delhi case in the 2018 has to make, there is problem between the union administration and NCT of Delhi because of lack of the cooperative and collaborative federalism. Understanding based approach is also important along with the legal orientation of the constitution, right? And the third important is said to be what is called governance level. Governance level. Governance level is said to be the very important, and this is the favor of transparency in public governance. Transparency in public governance. Everything must be made transparent, just like report of governor should be made transparent. Provision should be made transparent. If you are going to apply Article 356, there should be transparency. If you are going to come before the media, then it's okay. At least in the parliament, you have to make the transparency of your decision. So these are the particular fact related to the answer of this question is concerned, right? So once again, you have to see the whole structure under this one, that is called the answer presentation, this point, right? Introduction, main body and conclusion. Once again, I would like to tell you main body should not exceed to 80% and is should not exceed to what? 10%, right? Try your best. If 250 words, then 25 to 30 here, 25 to 30 here, and rest of the portion under the main body. Main body, if 2 points are there, then 40% should be given to this one, 40% should be given to this one. तो बेटा जूम इन और जूम आउट अपने से कर लेना अकॉर्डिंग टू डिमांड ऑफ द स्पेस रिक्वायर्ड इन द क्वेश्चन. 150 वर्ड्स भी हो सकता है, 125 भी हो सकता है, 250 वर्ड्स भी हो, 200 वर्ड्स भी होता है, वट एवर भी यू हैव टू एडजस्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू your proportional representation, right? So based upon that, these are particular fact is concerned, right? I think I did the explanation of this question, and still if you feel any kind of the confusion on the anything, if you want to ask, then this is the social media of Inspiration IAS Academy. So किसी भी मीडिया पे जा करके you can make so comment, you can you know you can just make your opinion, and if any kind of reform you need, then tell me. I will try my best to make the reforms in myself in my channel, right? So thank you very much for you, and may God bless you. Bye bye.